This is MSR TV6 15 Minutes News. In the headlines, Venezuelans send SOS at solidarity protests. Police station to be renovated. Children's parade, a great success. These stories with much more details when we return.
MSR Cable TV, simply the best.
In wake of the existing situation on Venezuela, news reaching St. Martin stated that anti-government protesters have hit the streets of Caracas and other parts of Venezuela in the past weeks with increasing level of violence. The exit is the campaign being run by opposition leader Leopoldo López, and the aim is to force President Nicolás Maduro to step down. The president has labeled the protesters as right-wing fascists and coup mongers. Although they deny they want anything other than legal changes at the top, they say government corruption, economic problem, and high level of crimes have not been dealt with properly. However, it is more complicated than just López versus Maduro. There's other opposition groups led by Henrique Capriles who don't support the exit process and believe they could do more harm than good. And here on St. Martin, many Venezuelans living on St. Martin together with local St. Martiners and friends in solidarity of Venezuela's situation came out in full force on Saturday next to the Simon Bolivar bars at the Phillipsburg Jubilee Library to hold a peaceful protest in support of the situation on Venezuela. The Venezuelans and supporters were all dressed in white, others wearing their Venezuelan national colors. Venezuelan flags and banners in Spanish, Dutch, and English were carried by the protesters. According to what MSR deemed as the main speaker, Valdemar Silva, who said it was not really a protest, but a peaceful gathering to show feelings of support to Venezuela, the Venezuelan, and against the existing government that has not been able to help Venezuela and who have made the country a worse place. Here are some of the peaceful supporters expressing their concern and sadness about the situation on Venezuela.
Well, we are here because we want Venezuela to be free. We are all together for a better Venezuela, and we are all together.
Can you explain us the situation in Venezuela now?
It's really bad right now. The militaries are going against the people. Most of the families are locked at home because they can't go outside, and it's really dangerous right now.
And to you, have your family back in Venezuela, and how are you feeling?
Well, it's very sad and worried. Our kids, our nephews, our students that are being killed. The daughter of a good friend of mine died this morning, shot in her face. It's students against bullets. We just want the right to live in peace. We need to live. We have the right to live in peace. That is what we're asking for. Please open their eyes.
And you have...
Well, what I want to say is just that I want the world to know what is happening in Venezuela. We want freedom, we want peace, but the TV stations are closed down, so this is our way to show the world what is happening, and please to help us.
Have you people from St. Martin in solidarity with you also?
Oh yes, from all over the world. In San Martin, they are giving us support.
And how long are you intending to do this protest? Is it going to be today only, or are you going to carry on until you get some resolution?
Well, if it needs to be done, we have to continue.
If I may add on to that, the manifestation is planned for this afternoon, but obviously it is the intention to continue the struggle for as long as possible and get as more people involved and get the message spread as far as possible so that we can get cooperation of the international world to help the liberation and the freedom to the people of Venezuela. This is a freedom well deserved, a freedom always benefited from and taken away by a government that with all intents and purposes tried something, but it did not work, and the people want a change, and democratically they should have that right. And this is the only purpose of the manifestation. It's always a peaceful manifestation, but we are insisting on sending a strong message that yes, the people of Venezuela want to be free. They want to have the rights, the human rights respected.
And have the government of St. Martin been in solidarity with you?
I cannot speak for the government of St. Martin, but I think that basically you would have any democratic country will stand in solidarity with such a struggle. St. Martin is a land of free, a land of people that enjoy their freedom, a land of people that have all the opportunities. So I think with that concept in mind, I should expect that all countries as St. Martin will cooperate in that sense, yes.
According to other reports reaching MSR, which stated that the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao closed its consulate offices after a Venezuelan man rammed his SUV through the front of the Venezuelan consulate in Aruba amid the mounting unrest in his home country. However, there was no reported injuries, and the culprit was identified as Guy Aquero, a businessman from Maracaibo. The Phillipsburg police station is to be renovated and upgraded of featured holding cells, and a contract for the first phase of the renovation was signed by Minister of Justice Dennis Richardson, Angela Decker representing Usona, the finance company, contractor Beitenbouw, and architect Priam. The project will cost NAF 1.5 million guilders, which will be financed completely by Usona, representing the Dutch government. Police spokesperson Inspector Ricardo Henson is here with the details.
We have for some time been having some difficulties with the police station, with the old system, and they want to do some renovation. And it has been a while that the organization on its own has been trying to get finances to have the renovation done. And it took some while, but nevertheless, this morning, February 19th, this morning at about 11 o'clock, a contract was signed at the Phillipsburg headquarters, where the Minister of Justice, Mr. Dennis Richardson, and the representatives of Usona, Ms. Angela Decker, together with representatives from Beitenbouw and the architect, Mr. Priam, they signed a contract for the amount of 1.5 million Dutch guilders to do the renovation of the police department. The project will cost, as I said, 1.5 million Dutch guilders, and it is completely financed by the Usona, represented by the Dutch government. The reason for the renovation has to do with the old wiring and the plumbing and of the old. The cells are on top of a certain part of the police station, and there has been some problem with the wiring, electrical wiring and the plumbing, where the wiring had caused a little bit of fire, and the plumbing was blocked, and it would cause not unpleasant backups and unpleasant scents. And because of that, they have decided to do a renovation, a complete renovation, and there will be many changes within the system of how it works. So the 8 existing cells that are on the second floor will be reconstructed into brand new cells, and they would be to the standards of human rights. The Human Rights Organization wants them to a certain standard, and they will be meeting those standards. And there will be a special camera system installed for a 24-hour monitoring system for suicidal detainees and for drug detainees and for children and women that are being held there. 7 cells will be constructed into 9 interview rooms. So the cells that were upstairs, 7 of them would be constructed into interview rooms with video and audio recording equipment to comply with new legislation that is in place. A special interview room for children will be put in place. So if you go to interview kids and so on, it has to be done. And then there will be an interview studio and a control room to watch along when interrogations is going on. And that is to comply with the latest standard in the context of interviewing and questioning child victims, people that have been involved in very serious crime, rape victims, and so on. And you would be able to record those interviews. The offices under the cells will be converted into new office spaces for the police officers, where they would have lockers and space to store personal belongings and have their own mailboxes. The toilets that we have downstairs and the showers, changing rooms will be completely renovated. The old air conditioning system will be replaced by the air conditioners that are energy saving and would only work with the what you call motion detectors and inverters. So when you go in, it goes on, and when you leave, it automatically turns off, and then it saves energy and saves the cost. So and finally, then we'll have a complete digital camera surveillance system that will be monitoring around the police station and the roads around the police station, and that will be phase one of the renovation project that the police is going. So we can expect phase two, and as I said, we are working towards building a better police organization, not only in professionalism, but we have, for us to be able to function in a good environment, we have to be safe ourselves. We have to be able to work from within the organization and bring all the necessary that we have on the outside.
According to members of the French Carnival Committee, who have declared that the children's parade was a great success and had no reports of incidents or accidents. 8 troops with over 600 children took part in the Sunday's parade, which transformed the town of Marigot into a melody of music, colorful floats, and costumes. Most of the troops in the children's parade were from schools and several associations. The children's parade started at Howell Center Shopping Center at 2 p.m. and proceeded through the town. An official troop by the FCDSM was at the head of the parade. However, they did not participate in the competition. Some of the most animated, energetic troops was French Quarter d'Heure School, going by the name of Sunshiners, and Sandy Ground Cultural Center. Prime Minister Sarah Westcott Williams is currently in full preparations for the organization of the International Women's Day celebration, which are to be held on Friday, 17th of March. During a special luncheon, the Prime Minister will be recognizing women within the community who have greatly contributed to the development of St. Martin. According to the Prime Minister, who said she will not be giving away any of the names as yet, as it is a surprise, but will be recognizing a number of St. Martin women for their contribution over the years. Awards will be given to the women who have contributed to the fields of children's foster home, humanitarian service, education, tourism, UNISM, and youth leadership. The Prime Minister is also organizing a special commemorative walk emphasizing on lifestyle change. The Prime Minister is encouraging all women and all women's sports association to take part in the International Women's Walk that will start at 5 in the morning at the Government Administration Building on Saturday, March 8th, and will end with a special breakfast being served. As that date for the special event draws near, more information will be made available to the public. According to the Prime Minister, this is just a small taste of what will be offered during what promised to be an exciting program celebrating the woman of St. Martin. This has been MSR TV6 15 Minutes News. We want to thank you for viewing. Until next time.